Hello, good people of the interwebs. This is the Bad Mini Painter, and I'm working through a combat patrol of Genestealers Cult. So the last Genestealers Cult video is my worst performing video as of today, which is quite impressive because it's a long series of pretty bad performing videos. But still, let's soldier on. Today is going to be the Acolyte Hybrids. And we're going to paint them to a table-ready standard. The sprues contain an amazing amount of heads. That surprised me. But it's going to be totaling 5 models. And yeah, not that painful to put together. So for the skin, I start out with the runic purple from Two Thin Coats. That's kind of like Genestealer purple from Citadel. And this is actually the first Two Thin Coats paint that I have had drying up a bit. So it's quite chunky after a year in storage. That surprised me because normally all the Two Thin Coats paints run really nicely. For the armor, I decided to go with Caldor Sky armor. I don't think it's armor, but for the arms, for the legs, I went with that. It complements the purple quite nicely, and yeah, I try to follow the box art, so that's what I do. I have about zero imagination, so what can you really do? For the pants, so take green from Citadel. It's a dark turquoise, I guess. And right now everything is kind of like flowing together, like the color matches quite nicely. For the fabric, the cloth things they have hanging, Mephisto red. Again, trying to follow the color from the box art. And my Mephisto red is really old, like really old. It's been a while since I bought any Citadel paints at all, but it thin it with a bit of water, and then it actually runs quite nicely. It's one of their better paints. Then I move on to Corvus Black for all the leathery patches, and I don't know what these things are. They have a weird sense of style, doesn't they? So I decided to use Corvus Black for those parts. All the rubbery, leathery stuff they have around on their weird bodies. And for the metal, I decided to use natural steel from AK Interactive. That's my new favorite metal paint. It flows really nicely. It's pretty bright, so if you want to have dark and dirty metal, then Lead Belcher or even Iron Hand Steel is a better choice. But you can dull it down and dirty it up quite a bit with shading, so it's not that big a deal. I use deep brown for all the leather, and that's mainly just gun holsters and some handles on guns and so forth. It's also from AK Interactive. I highly recommend AK Interactive now. I'm a fanboy. For the nails, claws, I use Ash Grey from Army Painter. It's kind of like Dawnstone. Dawnstone from Citadel is the equivalent, only it flows better and it doesn't dry out in the pot. I use a black wash from the Army Painter to well, wash everything, and it's basically non-oil, but it's less pigmented, so it flows a little better and it doesn't darken everything down quite as much. However, in this case, I felt that after applying the wash that my models were kind of too dark. And now something completely new. From Ammo, I had a free sample of Violet, And I thought, hey, let's try to use that on the skin of these Genestealers instead of Carberg Crimson, and that was a good choice. The shades from Ammo seems pretty cool, and I got it as a freebie with another order. So I'm going to be checking out Ammo and see what their other paints actually can do. They're fairly cheap. Oh, Warp Lightning for the whip, and Achillean Green for the sword, for the boss guy thing. I can't remember what he's called. He's called something. That much I know. And I decided to do contrast for that part. Now, after adding the shade, everything was darkened down quite a lot. So, since I wanted these models to be a little bit more vibrant, I actually decided to go back in and clean up. Normally I don't bother, but today I did. And that's with Runic Purple, and then Kaldor Sky. And what I do is I touch up where I imagine that light would hit. That makes sense, right? Generally, working with light is the best way to add detail to your models. So yeah, just general touch up with all the base colors already light down. As you can see, the red especially has been darkened quite a bit. Way too much for my liking. And next we go in with the brass from AK Interactive, and that's basically just to add a little bit of variation to the metal parts. So I just pick out some spots, wires, different stuff. And this is the part where I don't really adhere to the box art or anything like that. I just generally slap it on. Except for the little Genestealer emblem on their crotches. Some of these guys has glasses, or visors. I give them Fire Giant Orange. And for the shoulder light, I dab it with Intense Yellow from Scale Color. It's an ink, and it works good to give a light effect. I use Asian Grey to highlight all the covers black, because it was a lot of black and black, and it kind of like toned itself out. And after that, I didn't want to paint them anymore. So this is the end result. This is what I would call tabletop ready. Like viewing them from 40 or 60 centimeters. That's, I don't know, 2 foot. I don't know what you have weird scales. It doesn't matter. Metric system is quite easy because you just divide by 10. It's another conversation. But anywho, they look pretty good on the table. Like, it's a decent job. So and it was fast. Not much headache. Looking at them now, I kind of wish that I would have spent some time to fill in the eyes, but I didn't. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please seek mental help, and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It helps me a lot. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in a week. Something like that anyway.